Now that I have the base cabinets finished and the drawers made and installed, I'm going to skip ahead to building the upper cabinets. Very much like the base cabinets, these are 2 single units built in a modular style. And also like the base cabinets, I'm going to be using 3/4 inch maple veneer plywood to build these. And of course that starts with breaking down a sheet, and I'm using my straight edge guide and a handheld circular saw to do that. And that gives me smaller pieces that are easier to handle on the table saw. I'm working on the side panels here. I'm cutting a rabbet for the back panel of the cabinet. And with that done, I can use my Norm Abrams style crosscut sled to cut them to exact length. And these rabbets that I'm cutting here for the top and bottom of the cabinet, they're also 3/4 inch plywood. I want these cabinets to have adjustable shelves, so I'm going to be using my homemade shelf pin jig along with a router with a 1/4 inch bit to drill all those holes. While you're watching this, I'll point out that this is my next full build series on the Maker's Mob. I'm going to be covering the base cabinets plus the drawers and also these uppers, including the doors, in a detailed 8-video series. So if you're interested in that and you haven't already, you can join my Maker's Mob. The link is in the description. Now that I've got the parts made, I can start putting it together. And no surprise here, I'm going to be using polyurethane construction adhesive to glue up these joints. In the base cabinet build, I had a lot of questions from people asking me why I'm using that instead of regular wood glue. And there are a number of reasons, but the primary one during the winter is that my shop is not fully heated, and this glue works better in the cold. Another benefit with this is that it's quite thick and it doesn't drip all over the place. And I've got some squeeze out in the corners here that I'm using an old trick to clean up. And I actually made a video showing this method many years ago. But basically it's just a plastic straw, and you run it up the corner and it cleans out the glue. Once again, very much like the base cabinets, I'm using 1/2 inch plywood for the backs. And since these back panels are square, this will square up the cabinet as well. And I'm going to fasten them in place with 1 1/4 inch brads. Hopefully it fits, and it does. It's always a good thing. So that's the boxes for the cabinets made. And now I'm going to move on to making the face frame. And once again, I'm using rough lumber for that, so there are a lot of steps to bring that down to a finished dimension. The first thing I like to do is cut it to rough length, and then I'll bring it over to the table saw and rip it down to strips that are closer to the final dimensions. And the reason why I'm doing that is that it will relieve some drying stress that might be in the wood. For the base cabinets, I assembled the face frame first and then I installed it on the cabinets. Here I'm going to do it a bit differently. I'm going to cut the parts to the correct length and fasten them directly to the cabinet. And since the edge of these face frames go up against other cabinets or each other, you never see this edge, so I'm going to reinforce those corner joints with 2-inch screws. One of the big advantages of doing it this way is that you don't have to wait until the glue dries before the final sanding, and that's what I'm doing here. So almost immediately after that, I brought them over where they go and I installed them on the wall. And if you want to watch how I did that, I made a separate video and put it on my scrap bin channel. There's a link in the description and also at the end of this video. With the cabinets installed, I made shelves and put those in. And I also made some pretty nice looking doors to go on the front. And that'll be the subject of the next video.